I was doing my intro, but then the sun started rising and I can't get over how gorgeous this game looks. We haven't even started shooting solar sails, nor building the Dyson Sphere. I can't wait to excite all its energy. Anyway, in the last episode, we kicked the Dark Fog invaders and we freed this planet by destroying their relay station. Obviously, by freeing, I mean under new management. We will turn this planet into the industrial haven it's supposed to be. And in this episode, I am going to automate the red science, which means we will be dipping our toes in oil, baby! Red science requires graphite and hydrogen. The graphite is easy, but the hydrogen need oil, which means oil extractors and refineries. Which is why I'll start by automating the refinery's components. One last thing before we start building. I want to show you the setup I currently have. The blue science production and processing is nowhere near enough what we are looking for, and it'll be ugly and not efficient. To integrate the red science with what we have. So I'll rip the blue science and redo it. And to do that, I'll start by properly automating the components used for the blue science, which are magnetic coils and circuit boards. See you in a second once I've finished automating those items.
2 seconds later.
Oof, that was definitely longer than 2 seconds. Let's break it down. Circuit board and magnetic coil mostly need iron-based items, either the magnets or the iron plate. That's why I built the setup next to an iron vein. Now, something to keep in mind that each second an assembler will make 2 circuit boards and it needs 2 iron plate. Same thing with magnetic coils and magnets. So for the 6 circuit boards I need 12 iron plates per second. And for 6 magnetic coils I need 12 magnets per second. For the iron plate it's easy, as the smelter makes 1 iron plate per second per ore, so I need 12 smelters. But for magnets, the smelter makes 1 magnet per 1.5 seconds per ore, so I need 18 smelters to get the 12 magnets required per second. For both the assemblers and the smelters, I need to keep in mind that a Mach 1 belt could carry only 6 items per second. So having one long belt for each setup will not be enough. That's why I have 2 belts, one covering the 6 first smelters and another one covering the last 6 smelters in the row. So the second one comes on top and then goes down and it covers the last. I've done the same for the output and for the input, obviously. I have already set up the belts for everything, and I've set up the miners for the iron ore. Now all that is left to do is to bring some copper, smelt it into copper plates, and connect everything up. And voila! That's the setup I went for. At my beautiful machines all assembling in synchronization. I can watch this all day long, and it's only the beginning. Later, when we have a forge planet with long lines of assemblers stretching to the horizon, all of them pumping in harmony, man, it's gonna be glorious. Also, you can see when I click on the assemblers, the number of outputted item and inputted stay perfectly still. And that's how you know you did a good job. Now, let's move on to the next items on the list, which are glass, prism, and plasma exciter. And boy oh boy, I'm getting excited thinking about it. So, let's stop thinking and talk more about those items. The glass is just smelted stone and the prism is just assembled glass, so those two are very easy. And for the plasma exciter we need prism and magnetic coil, which is handy because we just automated those. So, I'm gonna build the whole thing close by. And by the way, I'm automating the plasma exciter because they are required for building oil refineries and oil extractors, which are the next item on the list after the plasma exciters. So enough chit chat and let's do it. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, it is done in all its glory. So what I've done here is that I tried to set up a different approach. I have 18 smelters for glass and For 6 smelters, I need 1 belt. So I need basically 3 full belts. And to do so, I wanted to make use of splitters and their priority system. So each splitter will give priority to the belt in front of it, and then the overflow will go to the right. So the priority in the front. So the first 6 smelters are gonna take the ore, and then when there's an overflow, it's going to join at the end of the 6 smelters, and so on and so on. That way, I just want to make sure that when there's an overflow, it arrives to the next smelters as fast as possible. For now, I don't have many ways to deal with long belts. I actually have none. But in the near future, we're gonna get the planetary logistics station with its drones, and we're gonna use that to transfer items in our planet for long distances without having to make long belts. And later on, we will have the interstellar logistics station. But for now, let's focus on this build. So here, the output of the glass is going to actually be used as the input of the prism. And I didn't make 2 lines, I decided to make it only 1 line. Which means I have to keep in mind that the income of the prism has to be after the output of the glass when I'm putting the sorters. Same thing I've done for the plasma exciters. The output of the prism is immediately the same belt which will be used as the input for the plasma exciters. To be honest, for this build I wasn't going for the most optimized way possible. I was just making sure that I have enough plasma exciters, that I have enough prism, and that I can stock them for now. That's why I wanted some output, and I wanted to have more prism than I'm using. I wanted to have more glass than I'm using so I can store them to use them for making the buildings I need them for. Also, one last thing, I've been running into energy problems, so that's starting to get annoying, but I'm not putting a solution yet because I know that I'm going into oil, and in oil I will have the refined oil as a byproduct, which could be used to power the generators. That's why I'm not building more of the coal energy based products. I'm putting it away, waiting for my refineries to be in place, waiting for my oil setup to be in place, and then I will be able to make a proper setup. But for now, I guess I'll have to do with spamming wind turbines. While I was flying around, I noticed the magnetic coil belt wasn't full, which is not supposed to be the case according to my calculation. Now wait, before you yell at me in the comments, I found out the problem. I found out and I remembered that the Mark I assemblers are actually only 75% efficient. And it's only the Mac 2 that is 100% efficient. For now, we will have to deal with only 75%, but I promise, once I unlock the Mark II assemblers, I will upgrade those as soon as possible. Oh my god, what is that? This is huge. They already have a huge base, but the threat level haven't been rising. My guess is that once we start interstellar automation, the threat will rise again. But I mean, they already have conquered multiple planets. I gotta be fast before it's too late. Let me go extra fast with the oil and the matrices. And fast he went. By the way, this is a re-recording. The first one has been corrupted, so I had to do another one. But for the refineries, setup is easy. I just have 2 oil extractors. I have a splitter that split them into 3 belts. And for now, I only have 2, but I have some oil next to me. I'm not gonna bring it yet. Probably I'm just gonna wait for the planetary station just to make it more clean. One thing to keep in mind is that refineries, you have 2 output, so you can choose which output is which. I put the refined oil on the closest belt just because in this recipe you make more oil than hydrogen. Then you just skip a line and put it all the way. For now I'm storing the refined oil in storage tank, but I'm gonna use some of it to make my energy. And the hydrogen is going for my matrix lab, which is, spoiler alert, just over there. For the graphite, on the other hand, it's even easier. I bring some coal and I smelt it into graphite. Can't be easier than that. Now, all that is left to do is to bring everything together and automate the matrices. For the red matrix, I need the hydrogen coming from the refineries and I need the graphite coming from the factory I just made. For the blue science, on the other hand, I need the magnetic coil and the circuit board, which I automated at the beginning of this episode. So I'm gonna make a long line to bring them from over there. And what's left to do is hook it up and watch it work. The first thing I'm going to upgrade are going to be myself, so my movement speed, my drone speed, everything related to building. You lose so much time waiting for these drones, so please do yourself a favor and start by upgrading yourself, and then you take the technologies. And for the technology, obviously, I'll not forget about the Mark II assemblers. This does it for today's episode. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. This helps me tremendously. Even if this video doesn't get views, I will still probably make content like this just because I love this game and I'm gonna keep playing it anyway. So might as well just make a video showing off my builds. I like it, I enjoy it, and I would like to have your feedbacks if you have any advices or if you have any ideas that you want me to do or you want to share with us. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I am Casual Gamer, and I'm out.